Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And what I'm looking at is from the brewery out of Placentia, California. This is the bakery coconut macaroons. Now, I had this back in 2018 and I absolutely loved it. Back then, it was a little bit stronger. It was 13% alcohol. This year's version, the 2020 release, is 10.2% alcohol by volume. So we'll have to see if that comes into play as far as the flavors, aromas, etc. It is an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with coconut and natural vanilla flavor added. So very excited to try this again. I have had it sitting out for about 10-15 minutes just to, you want to let these sit out of the fridge for a few minutes before you get into them just because they develop so nicely as they warm. You don't want to drink it ice cold like you would traditional lager or ale. Okay, let's get into it. Very, very dark brown appearance. Whoa. Okay, so I probably shouldn't have poured it so aggressively, but as you can see, it has got a very dark head, like beige head, nice cascading head there. The appearance in the glass is straight black, jet black appearance in the glass. Very, very dark beer. The aroma, I'll tell you, the bourbon barrel, it's really the first thing that comes through. I remember the 2018 version. You're getting a lot of coconut on the aroma. With this one, the bourbon barrel is the lead aroma with this beer. Dark chocolate, toffee, a little bit of coconut, but not nearly as much as the 2018 version, from what I remember. So, bourbon, dark chocolate, caramel toffee, and then the coconut. It doesn't really smell. I mean, 10.2%, that's getting up there. Actually, it does smell slightly boozy when you compare it to the 2018 because the coconut's not coming through as much. The bourbon barrel being the lead aroma. You can tell this is a higher alcohol beer just from the aroma because you're getting all of those barrel notes and they're very, very pronounced. The head on this is super creamy. I mean, just, it's like a milkshake head. Trying to let the head die down a little bit more, but that's not going to happen. So let's go ahead and get into it. The aroma is fantastic. So without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers, guys. Wow. Bourbon barrel, dark roasted malt in the form of really dark toasted bread. Note flavor notes in the middle of the sip. Vanilla notes, caramel notes, probably from the bourbon barrel aging. It definitely has that bourbony feel to it all the way through, from the initial aroma to that first sip. It's really impressive that it's maintaining this head as well, being that it's bourbon barrel aged and it's this high alcohol, because typically you don't see this with an imperial bourbon barrel aged stout. The head retention is never this good. Dark chocolate, it's just this would be very overwhelming if you've never had a stout before or a barrel aged beer. You wouldn't want to start with this one. A lot more bourbon barrel presence with this one than the other version that I had back in 2018. The coconut's not coming through as much, just a slight coconut flavor on the back end once you get through the bourbon, the vanilla, the oak, the woody notes from the barrel aging, caramel, dark chocolate. That coconut is just the last thing that you're picking up on, which is slightly disappointing because it was the first thing that I was picking up on last time, and I am a coconut freak. So the more coconut, the better. A little more of the coconut as I keep sipping on it, but still not nearly what it was with the coconut presence. It's got a creamy, smooth mouthfeel. The finish is creamy as well. It just there's really no bitterness with this beer. Maybe just a smidge of astringency from the roasted malt because it's such a deep, dark roasted malt with this beer. Uh, but that's yeah. I mean, it's not balanced in that sense. It's sweet and malty all the way through to the finish. But the bourbon notes are definitely there. The dark chocolate and the coconut's really the biggest disappointment. It's not quite as pronounced as I'd like it to be. But this is a wonderful beer. Carbonation's light, nice lacing, nice head retention. This is a beautiful beer. Is it as good as the 2018? No. And the 13% 2018 version, the alcohol was masked better because the coconut was coming through more and there wasn't quite so much of a bourbon barrel presence. With this one, the barrel presence is right up in your face. So the alcohol is actually less masked with the 10.2 than with the 13% version, which is surprising. Not necessarily a bad thing, just different notes. Um, I don't like this one as much as the 2018, like I've said, because there's not enough coconut for my personal tasting preferences. I was hoping more for that coconut macaroon flavor, but it's a wonderful bourbon barrel aged stout. I'm still going to give it a 96. It's up there, guys. It's getting up there towards world class. A little bit more coconut would have really set this one over the top. But it's got all of the great qualities of a bourbon barrel stout that you're looking for. It's nice and malty and sweet and dessert like and just wonderful. So 96 out of 100 for the Bruery's Bakery Coconut Macaroons 2020 version. That'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.